yung tatay ko. Panday siya. Kauna-unahang Panday ng Basilan.
Forged in fire, culture, and time-honored traditions, every sword tells a story. And if Filipino-made knives could talk, they would speak volumes about the indigenous traditions, foreign influences, regional diversity, and the country's rich history with unparalleled sharpness. In the time before colonization, our ancestors had their own methods of crafting blades. These early sword makers, often referred to as pandays, utilized local materials and techniques to create tools and weapons for their communities. Distinctly made, these weapons reflect the needs and heritage of various ethnic groups all over the Philippines. When the Spanish first set foot on our shores in 1521, they brought with them new ideas and technologies, evolving how we worked metal locally. Since we are archipelagic, every place or indigenous community developed its own iconic sword-making styles. This is apparent in how the Moro people in the southern Philippines forged the legendary Kris, with its wavy blades and intricate form, similar to some blades you might find in northern Borneo. Naturally, aside from agriculture, swords were created for use in battle. Warfare played a crucial role in curving their shapes, with the need for effective weapons leading to the refinement of their techniques. Every piece had to be functional, durable, and balanced. These weapons would also become symbols of power, prestige, and cultural identity. Here's a rundown of some of the Filipino knives and swords that our ancestors invented for various uses. The Bolo, a Spanish term that generally refers to bladed weapons. Bolos are used as chopping knives like a machete or an agricultural tool. This became popular during the Spanish-American War as Filipino battalions wielded it against conquerors. Andres Bonifacio, one of our national heroes and the founder of Katipunan, led the 1986 revolt against the Spanish with a bolo in hand. Today, it is still used extensively as a farming and cooking tool throughout Luzon and the Visayas. Most recognized for its leaf-shaped blade, the short, single-edged barong was used for slashing in close-quarters combat among Tausug, Yakan, and Samo warriors. The Kris wavy blade makes it stand out among the other weapons. With supernatural connotations in Malayan culture, the Kris was used by tribal warrior for thrusting and slashing. An executioner's sword, the Talibong weighs heavier than most Filipino swords due to its double-curved blade and overall length of about 45 inches. You can imagine the damage this can serve. Made for chopping, the Panabang features a wide metal blade that's reminiscent of a hybrid between an axe and a sword, popular among the Moro people of Mindanao and in the Sulu archipelago. One of the traditional swords still issued to the Philippine Military Special Forces, the Ginunting, which means scissors, uses a thin and lightweight blade ideal for close-quarter combat and navigating thick jungle terrain. Through time, Filipino blacksmiths honed their crafts and passed down their knowledge from one generation to the next. Although traditional swordsmiths have diminished in number today, some masters vow to continue the legacy and strive to preserve this ancient art so that the beauty and history of Filipino swords will never be forgotten. During our trip to Basilan, we met a second-generation blacksmith with a unique story to tell.
Ako po si Datu Halun Asakil. 59 years na po ako gumagawa ng itak dito sa Basilan. Hanggang ngayon, pinapatuloy ko pa rin po ang paggawa ko nito. Pagpatuloy ko po ito hanggang buhay pa. Na-teacher ako ng ilang years. 36 years ako sa serbisyo ko. E tapos at the age of 60, napag-isipan ko mag-retire. Binalikan ko yung pamana.
Magkano po isang sako nito?
350. Ang ubos natin bawat araw, tusak. Ano yon, ibigay ng hangin papunta doon. Charcoal po ito. Bagol ng nyug. Ito, mag-umpisa tayo gumawa ng tira. Tapos, itong bakal natin ay itong tawagon molye. Noon, ang tatay ko wala siyang hanap buhay. Siya lang mag-isa. So, nag-umpisa siya gumawa noong 1940s, yung before World War II. Wala pa kaming lahat. Purely Huluhano kami, both father and mother Huluhano. Ang punta niya dito, parang stowaway. Kung mababanggit yung nakaraan, pinsan niya si Princess Tarhata. Hindi ibig sabihin kami ay dato mayaman kagaya ng mga Tagalanaw. Ang mga Tagalanaw, Maguindanao, pag sinabi dato, sila ay mayaman. Kami by blood. Pagdating dito, wala siyang ibang naisip kung hindi gumawa ng sarili niyang pandayan. Babalikan na naman. Yung ginawa ko parang agila. Ang style niyan. Pag sanay ka na dito, no age limit. Tumulong ako, nag-umpisa ako ng 8 taon ng edad ko. Tumulong ako sa kanya bilang helper lang. Pagkatapos yun, unti-unti ma-develop ang knowledge ko sa paggawa nito. Andoon siya, andoon din ako, gumagawa siya. So ako rin napag-isipan ko mag-practice, gumawa. Nade-develop ko kung anong gusto kong gagawin. Doon nag-umpisa, pwede na ako gumawa. Sa umpisa, kung nabaguhan ka dito sa pagpapantay mo, mahirapan ka. Ang kalaban mo ay apoy, tapos ang pagod mo, pawis. Pero kung sanay ka na, baliwala na sa'yo. Kahit ako, ang tanda-tanda ko na, baliwala na sa akin. Yan na, umpisa na ang purma. Itong gamit nila yung pira at barong, from holo talaga yan. Pangdigbaan yun, parang self-defense nila. Ang tawag sa Muslim yun, pakukus. Habang walang problema, nandiyan yan sa iyo, parang pang-decoration sa katawan. Nilalagay dito sa sa waist mo, inaano na nun, dinadala-dala. Ayun, barong yun, iniwan sa akin ng tatay. Sabi niya, ito pamana sa inyo, galing ito sa hulo. Ang nagmamayari, yung mga warrior na noon. Ito pong hawak ko na ito ay barong, galing sa hulo. Pamana po ito ng mga Asakil family ng Hulusulu. Nang umalis ang tatay ko, dinala niya ito papunta Basilan. Ang edad nitong barong na ito ay more than 100 years na to. Almost 200 years na. Hanggang ngayon, andito pa rin. Itong barong na ito, marami na itong kinuha niya ng buhay. Kasi ito ang ginagamit pang digmaan ng mga tagahulo noong panahon na yon. Alam mo, dahil sa tulong ko sa tatay, nang high school ako, minsan 3 beses lang mag-attend kasi ang tatay ko siya lang mag-isa dito lang katulong. Kasi ang mga kapatid ko, malaki na sila, nagkapag-aral na sa mga malaking sa iba-ibang lugar. Ako, since the beginning hanggang ngayon, hindi ko naiwan ng tatay. Hindi ko talaga naiwan. Dahil sa pagmamahal ng mga magulang, kahit nag-aaral ako, nag-absent ako. Para lang siya matulungan. Sa 12 kami magkakapatid, 8 kami ang nakatapos maging professional dahil sa pagpapanday ng tatay. So malaking alaala ito na iwan sa amin ng tatay.
With hands strong enough to pound metal for hours on end, Tatay carves out a name for himself and continues his father's legacy, a son humbly honoring his father in the best way he knows how.